All right, Anthony on Air podcast. New year, new you, same podcast. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. We got an update on Ghislaine Maxwell, bail denial, and she's coming out swinging against one of the alleged victims. Plus, Bean Dad is the first cancellation of 2021. We have Snoop Dogg admitting to all the places that he's been high at, and NBC and Peacock. We got to get into that as well. Frankie C is here. Happy New Year, my friend.
Happy New Year to you.
J Sabs is on her way. She'll be joining us shortly. Now that she's a huge TikTok star, she doesn't.
This just in, she's looking for more meth somewhere.
No. She's blowing up on TikTok. Jokes. She's big now. She can't do the whole show. She comes on when she can. So,
all right.
Yeah, we have to wait for her now.
Her side gig.
Episode brought to you by our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. Link in the description. More on them in a moment. It's a quick update on Ghislaine. We're not breaking any huge news here, but just a little catch up since we've been doing a lot of. We did our Christmas special and year in review, so we haven't really touched on this. But as expected, $28 million bail package that was denied by the judge, so she's stuck in prison. She's not going to get out on bail. But I found it interesting that the first thing that she did after that was come out swinging against Annie Farmer, who had a civil suit against her. And she just basically took a bunch of money from the victims fund. So how it works is, remember we talked about Epstein, they set up that whole victims fund, the same people that ran the 9/11 thing, they're running this one. And basically, if you have to sort of, present a case to them. You have to prove, or else everybody
that you were a victim.
Everybody would come out of the woodworks and just say, "Oh yeah, me too," and get a whole bunch of money. So she apparently did that. They awarded her a bunch of money. But how it works is if you take that money, you as a condition have to drop all other litigation. So if you're suing Maxwell or if you're suing the Epstein estate, it makes sense. If you're suing the Epstein estate, you can't still sue them if they settle with you, So that was that.
I didn't think that was a settlement. I thought that was just a fund to help people.
It's kind of
How is that a settlement?
It's kind of like an expedited settlement when it gets down to it, instead of just because that's kind of what happens when there's a huge wrong, like in 9/11 when all these people died and that was a wrong. The fund was created to sort of settle that quickly in a fast, expedited
but we
manner.
still went after the terrorists.
Yeah, but it's still, instead of them going through, there's hundreds of girls. So instead of going through, or women now, girls now, whatever, instead of going through each one of these and having each case and lawyers and judges and everything, they just go, okay, can you, if you meet their requirements, okay, then boom, you get your.
So is it possible that someone who, like all the victims, if they just go through and get all the whatever money from the victim fund, that eventually there'll be no case against Maxwell if they all get paid?
Essentially, that's probably what's going to wind up happening. Yeah, that's what's going.
See, that's where there's a misconnect or disconnect.
Well, the criminal stuff, she's got to face that. That's
what I'm saying.
The criminal thing still is, but all these victims, or some of them, had civil cases going against her as well.
Because civil criminal. Okay.
Yeah, all the criminal is funneled into that, and then there's the civil cases as well. So this Annie Farmer, she had a civil case going against Ghislaine. She has to drop that now. But what's happening is, and this is where Ghislaine's coming out swinging, or her lawyers at least, whatever. They're saying that they want to know how much money she's getting, because Annie Farmer, and I'm going to assume, I know there's at least one other one who's going under Jane Doe right now. They're going to be testifying in the Ghislaine Maxwell criminal case. So her lawyers are trying to say that these people are only out for money, and the amount of money is going to illustrate that. So they're basically saying, if she's getting $30 million, that's going to show you that she's just motivated by money, and whatever. They're going to try and use that to discount her testimony in the criminal case.
How could they say an amount of money means this or that? I mean, It's whatever the amount is.
That's what I found pretty fascinating. Yeah. What's that number that makes it from, oh, that's a legitimate victim to, oh, she's a money
10 million. Yeah, that's fine. But to 20 million, 12 million, then they're just out for the cash.
Yeah. And the answer is I don't know if there is an exact amount of money that does that, but I think their thinking is if that number is out there and the more money it is, the more that seed of, only here for the money is planted in the heads.
I mean, there's a finite amount of this money. I feel like.
Yeah, but there's a lot of it.
I mean,
there's a lot.
Do they have to even? Yeah, that's true.
There's a lot of it. I mean, there's a lot of.
Is it equally? It's not divided equally.
No, I don't know how. But that's what that commission's job is to do. They're there to say, okay, this is how much we have. Here are all the people, and depending on what they say and how long and what happened and everything else is.
Yeah.
Which again, as we talked about, that's got to be the most depressing, awful job that you can possibly have.
You feel like every case you come across, you're like, I want to give them all the money.
Yeah, exactly. Like just by you saying that, you are unfit for that position. Like you cannot, you wouldn't be good at doing that.
I would not, because I get past the first one and go up. What am I gonna do now?
Yeah,
but there's no money big enough. There's no amount of money big enough to make it go away.
Yeah, so that's what's happening right now. So her lawyers are on this. They're on this mission now to try and get that money released. The judge in the case basically said there's no reason to give you that information. Like there is no reason to give you that information, and that's basically where we are with the Ghislaine stuff. So that's the latest update on that. Oh. But it is 2021, and I remember when we started talking about this back in July of 2020. That is like this whole
30 years ago.
This trial was like a year away, and now here we are. And over the course of the next couple of weeks and months, things are going to be ramping up in this case. So
we got to keep an eye on it, and
we'll be here.
It's going to be here faster than you think. While we're focusing on other things, this is going to sneak up on us.
So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because we like giving you the Ghislaine stuff in a conversational manner. We're not like one of these super investigative
We're not
dudes.
Legal experts. We're
not
investigating stuff. We're not we're just telling you what we know.
A lot of serious guys trying to pass themselves off as something else. It's like you're on YouTube, like the rest of us, guy. Like easy.
Yeah.
You take.
I'm in my kitchen. I'm not like. I'm not in an office building somewhere behind a news desk.
Yeah. So stick with us. Subscribe to the channel. Pass it along to people that are interested, and make sure they're all subscribed up. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the podcast networks, of course, and of course YouTube,
the whole deal. Yep.
Links at anthonyonair.com. So that's that. Let's talk about the first cancellation of 2021, my friend.
Let's go. What do we got?
Bean Dad goes down. Bean Dad, as he's being coined right now, this was trending all day yesterday, all day Sunday. This was trending on Twitter. Bean Dad told this story of his 9-year-old daughter who wanted baked beans for dinner. Okay. So he went on, and in 23 tweets, he told this story about his daughter came up to him. She wanted baked beans for dinner. He saw this, identified this as a quote unquote teachable moment for the daughter, who's 9 years old, to open up her own can of baked beans. Okay. To get this for dinner. Now, this Bean Dad is John Roderick. John is a podcaster. He hosts a podcast.
Poor bastard.
He hosts a podcast with Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy guy.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's a big deal. I've never heard of him, and I'm not taking a shot at him.
Ken Jennings.
I've heard of Ken Jennings. I never heard of John Roderick. Apparently, he's a musician too, and he does music. I don't know. He's like one of these jack of all trade guys. Yeah, J-Rod. So in 23 tweets, he tells his daughter that if she wants to eat baked beans, here's a can opener. You got to figure it out on yourself.
How old's the daughter?
9.
Okay.
9 years old. So there's Spoiler alert. He's off Twitter. He got canceled. We already told you that. He's off Twitter.
Right. He's gone. Yeah.
I don't have all of the 23 tweets, but here's basically how it started.
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop here.
So yesterday, my daughter was hungry and I was doing a jigsaw puzzle. So I said over my shoulder, make some baked beans. She said, how? Like all kids do when they want you to do it. So I said, open a can and put it in a pot. She brought me the can and said, open it. How? So I said, how do you think this works? She studied it and applied it to the top of the can, sideways, the can opener. She struggled for a while with a big dramatic sigh and said, will you please just open the can? Apocalypse Dad was overjoyed. Teaching moment just dropped in my lap. So basically he says, and here's the thing that enraged Twitter. In one of the tweets, he says, 6 hours later, she finally figured out. Hang on. She's not. 6 hours was trending. 6 hours later, the frustrated 9-year-old figured out how to open the can of beans with the can opener. So people got upset that this dad made his 9-year-old daughter wait 6 hours to eat.
Was he exaggerating? 6 hours later, you know.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.
Okay.
And this is my point. The point of this is,
I'm just playing devil's advocate. Maybe it was 6 hours, but
no,
trying to
listen.
give benefit of the doubt here.
This is why Twitter sucks. Like, Twitter's great for a lot of reasons, but this is why Twitter sucks. You lose all context, cadence.
You don't know when you're exaggerating and
timing of humor when you're reading something straight up through text.
Right.
But this thing caught fire. People started tweeting. All I'm hearing is that the time I told my dad I was hungry, he wouldn't let me eat for another 6 hours. No good. Another person said, just open the can and give your child beans, you psychopath. Another person said, you're an asshole, dude. From one dad to another, this story is nothing to be proud of. You taught your daughter how little you care about her needs and only your need to show her how much smarter you are than she is. Feed her, then teach.
If he literally meant 6 hours, then that's a scumbag move. That's a scumbag dad. But if he was exaggerating, like 10 years later, she opened the can. If he was just trying to exaggerate and it took her maybe 20 minutes to figure it out, then everybody needs to relax.
This is my favorite from @Jason O'Gilbert. Yesterday, my daughter called me and told me she had been taken by kidnappers. She asked if I could use my particular set of skills acquired over a very long career to get me back. Aha, I thought, a teachable moment.
Yeah. That's a little extreme, but okay. I like the humor.
Someday Bean Dad is going to need her help with technology or end of life care. She will have her revenge.
Oh, damn. God.
Yes.
Did he respond at all?
He didn't, but a lot of people criticized him. And then one person, this guy, and his name is @sauce_. I appreciate that.
Here's a genius coming right here.
No, he literally said, hey, I'll stick my neck out. This is written in the voice of John on his podcast, Roderick on the Line. He's telling this story in a heightened way with a tone that longtime listeners would recognize as both a joke and self-defacing. There's context that's completely lost.
That's what it sounded like. That's how I took it.
Yeah.
When you said 6 hours, at first, instantly I thought, wow, that's a friggin' long time to struggle with the can. But then I went, that seems unrealistic. It sounds like he's just exaggerating.
Yeah, because first of all, children are smart. And even a 9, like my kid's 5, and he has access to YouTube. Like the kid, my son has recognized already that you can do anything in the world now as long as you just go to YouTube and search it.
Yeah. Plus, after, I don't know, 15 minutes, I'm sure the kid would probably put the can of beans down and get something else to eat.
He'd be in there.
I don't know.
She'd be in there getting a Hot Pocket fired up in the microwave and going, fuck those beans.
Forget these beans.
Bullshit.
Had it. 6 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this, 1937? Are we in the Great Depression here or something? I got a microwave and Pop-Tarts. Screw this shit.
Use one of those scissors that cuts through a shoe. Just get right in that can.
That's true.
Ginsu.
That's true. I cut you off, though. What were you saying? You were going to say something else.
No. What was I going to say? No, just that I mean, after like, I don't know, hour two, maybe she throws in the towel. And if anybody really thinks that this kid spent 6 hours trying to open a can,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't believe that. I mean, I'm the first person to give benefit of the doubt here, and I think he was joking. If he wasn't, if it turns out he's not joking and it was 6 hours, he's a scumbag.
First of all, I don't think there's any way.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, I am on his side. He's golden here the whole entire way until you get to the amount of time. And let's be honest, and like I don't think any parent could do more than 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes of them struggling with the can opener. And I think you're going to be like, okay, look, here's how you use a can opener.
There are some asshole parents out there. You know, not every parent is a good parent. But I feel like just the fact that he's trying to be funny and he thought this was like a thing he could post on Twitter.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to add jokes to it.
Yeah, he was.
Just to make it funny and readable.
By the way, this is what we do. You know, we take stories from our lives and we put them out there, and you know, sometimes you heighten certain parts of it. If it was only 20 minutes, you go 6 hours just to get the laugh out.
It took me all day to do it. In reality, it took you an hour.
Yeah, but they canceled the guy. He legitimately deleted his account.
He deleted his account.
And I have to say this, Frank, because there's a lot of like do-gooders or snotty people who think they're better than everybody else who live and exist on Twitter who will then shame people like this, not caring at all what's real and what's not, what's been exaggerated and what hasn't. And they're out for blood at all costs, and they won't rest until the guy, you know, has to like...
I understand that. I mean, nobody asks a question first. Nobody says, well, is this a... Even if you think it's not a joke, there has to exist in your mind maybe the smallest possibility that he's exaggerating. Like, even if it's 1% as opposed to 99% that says he's serious. There's got to be that 1% that says, well, maybe he was just, you know...
That's what I'm saying. Like... Joke. Any rational-headed person is going to look at this just like you did, just like I did, and go, "Oh, there's no way he made the kid wait 6 hours."
No. And again, if he comes out and says, "Yeah, it was 6 hours," then he's a jerk, and he deserves not to be like threatened or anything, but you know, he deserves to be called a jerk, maybe. But you know, I don't think first impressions he was exaggerating. That's what it sounded like.
The most wisdom on this comes from somebody with the handle at Maple Cocaine, and it is
Janine?
it's not Janine's.
It's not Jason.
That's not her burner account. No, it's such great wisdom, and I'm going to share it with you after we do our live read for our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. Absolutely the best soap that I have ever tried. By the way, I saw an ad. I love that you're. I love what Frank's doing for the Hero Soap ads now. I saw an ad for another soap online. And they were saying, this isn't from Hero Soap Company, but they were saying that all those national brands that we talk about that has all that like weird stuff in it that we say all the time. They say that the FDA doesn't even consider those things soap. They consider them a light detergent because of what is in those mass-produced bars. Yeah, could you imagine? Like,
clean my skin with detergent.
Never. Like, detergent's for clothes, not for human beings' skin. So trust me when I tell you, this is literally
all
made
natural stuff
for you, all natural. And on top of that, unlike some of the other brands, they're like, I'm not going to lie to you, as far as quality of soap goes, I'm sure any independent soap maker is probably making soap at or equal to the same quality as what this soap is. You know what I'm saying? Like, against those major brands, it's special. Against other people that are trying to do the same thing, it's probably the same. But the difference is when you buy a bar soap from Hero Soap Company, they send a bar soap over to the troops, which is extraordinary. And then they take some of the money that they make out of profit and they give it to veterans that are, to build homes for them so that they can get them mortgage free. That's extraordinary.
It's like win-win-win all around.
Huge wins all around. And they have the subscriptions, which I don't know if a lot of other independent soaps have that, where you sign up and you save 20% with the promo code Anthony, and you can get like a bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, whatever you eat, whatever your household needs are, and they'll send it to your house every single month. So you never have to think or worry about soap ever again. Which is
So,
nice.
Ed, do you like Hero Soap Company? Or
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan. But I'm not gonna lie to people. I'm sure there's other, Jerry's soap that's probably just as good out there, but
Jerry's soap, let me tell you, take your skin right off.
What's the deal with my soap? Okay. I wish we could edit that out. Anyway, at Maple Cocaine says, and this is very wise. Each day on Twitter, there is one main character. The goal is to never be it.
It's never positive. That's true. Why is that? Why isn't there one time where someone's trending for a good reason?
Because we have this gang mentality of like, let's get them. Like, this is the enemy today. Let's get them. And by the way, this is what a lot of people on the right have a problem with a lot of people on the left for, because the people on the left go, oh, I'm self-righteous, I know I'm right, and this is not good, blah, blah, blah. And then they wind up destroying somebody, and then they're like, oh, whatever. And that stuff happens a lot. And I'm not saying it happens exclusively on the left. I'm sure right people do it the same. But, this is clearly a problem in our society. And I feel like a lot of it stems from Twitter and then Facebook a little bit more after that. And then as we get into the other social media channels, I don't think it's as prevalent. Like, this doesn't happen on Instagram. You know what I mean?
No, that's Instagram, because it's all, photos, and people don't post stories like that as much. It's just photos and, hey, look what I ate today. That's Instagram. It's kids, a lot of the time. And it's just, photos about your day. Twitter is not news, but a lot of news organizations and politicians, they're all on it. So it's all stirred up. It's all in a big pot.
Yeah.
Not everybody's on Instagram, all the, leaders and everybody. So.
And that's what's beautiful about Twitter. Like, I love it for the news. Like, if I want to find out what's happening in the world, if I've been in a cloud or working or on a phone call or whatever, and I'm like, I want to see what's happening in the world, I go right to Twitter and I find out what's happening in the world. And that's what it's great for, exposing.
Yeah, and everybody thinking that social media is not news. We're not talking about going to social media for news. We're talking about going to a news site's social media.
It's just how I get it, whether, all the news places that I follow or all the people of influence I follow, they're all right there. It's all in one spot. So I can
if you're getting your news from some Joe Schmo, like Uncle whatever, that says I know that this is happening. That's not news. That's BS.
Right, exactly. Usually. And it's like I can get Fox News, I can get CNN, I could see what Newsmax is saying, I could see what BBC is saying. I can get all that information in one. That's what I love about Twitter. The Me Too movement and exposing Hollywood for what that was. Beautiful, overthrowing, bad governments across the world. Great, getting free speech out there. Awesome. All these things are great. But there's this cancel culture woke thing, that again, on the outside appears like it's great. Like if somebody was really keeping their kid hungry for 6 hours, that would obviously be bad. But most of the time, these things are not what they seem. But yet, there's this like gang mentality of just hit these people so hard, until.
And yet, what boggles my mind though, let's say Bean Dad gets canceled, but the people attacking him and calling him names and being vicious and cruel, those people don't get canceled.
Never, and that's the problem. That's the problem.
It's like someone goes on there and says the most vile stuff about someone who did something, even if that person is guilty of that something. I don't know. It just seems like, why aren't we all looking at, well, if they're guilty of it and they did something bad, it's kind of fair game.
Here's the other thing, though. And we just said that one of the great things that people use Twitter for is news. One of the other great things that people use Twitter for is humor. And so exists our people's opportunity to say something humorous. And sometimes it misses the mark and it's not great and it falls flat.
It's a miss, yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't. And people just can't make a simple joke on Twitter anymore. Again, because there something gets lost in that context when it's in print and people read it and they don't have the cadence or the delivery of the person who's writing it. It loses that and it just looks bad, and then they just go on their cancel tirade, and then there's literally no stopping it.
The problem is that 99% of the people probably see it as a joke, but then there's that 1% who are jumping on. Let's say this guy's tweet, the Bean Dad thread, had, I don't know, 50,000 people say something on it. If 1,000 of those people say something negative, he probably saw all those, and that's the problem. So it's like a minority of the people are saying something bad, but that's what's standing out because it's so bad.
And that's what mainstream media, CNN, Fox, all of them, they go in and they grab that one or that two. Like you said, could be 1,000 people that loved it, but 3 people did it. And those will be the 3 tweets that are in the comment, that are in the article, that gets blasted out by this entity that has millions of followers. And then that becomes the story. I saw there was this interesting thing.
Is that how it's happening, or is it?
No, that's how it's happening. That is how.
Or does it happen first? Like those 1,000 people say something bad, and then
it's a law of averages. It's a law of averages.
It's like
Frank.
A chicken and egg thing.
If you put out the cure for cancer, you will find 3 negative tweets about it at some point during the discussion. Like you can't. There's so many people. You just can't. Like somebody will just be like, "This is bad" or "This is wrong." It's just that's the way it is. And then they just
goes against nature. It's like,
and then they cherry pick that stuff and they just slip it in their narrative, like whatever their usual thing is, whatever gets the most hits on with their audience, they slip that right into the old narrative, and away they go, and that's it. And then it starts to hit those huge entities, and then it really gains momentum, and then you spiraled out of control. So
yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is it Twitter that's blowing this up? Like, it's making it trend, and so CNN, Fox, and all these places pick up on what's trending?
Yes.
Or is it this is happening, CNN, Fox, and whoever pick it up, report it, and
it's
that's
both.
What causes it to trend?
It's chicken and the egg. The one feeds the other.
See, so maybe is it that way, or is it just Fox and CNN reporting what's trending? Or is it trending because Fox and CNN reported?
It's a little bit of both, though, because like when you have like Phil from Pittsburgh who has 10 followers put something out and it catches heat, that's a little bit different than when Bean Dad put something out. I think he had like 1 million followers or something. So you've already ignited
CNN,
that.
Fox,
but
it's not mainstream media. That's Twitter making a trend, and then it gets picked up.
But they still do it. It still adds. It still winds up adding to the mix. It still basically winds up.
It's not helping. But if they don't report it, I don't know. I mean, are they obligated to report what's trending? Are they obligated to report something that's going on?
What do they care? But what's weird is, and I'll just piggyback this before we move on to Snoop Dogg here. There was this guy Marquez Brown. He does tech things, right? So I was seeing the story the other day. Gal Gadot was tweeting that she loved this cell phone that she was getting paid to say, right? But on Twitter, when you tweet something, it tells you where you've tweeted from. So if you tweeted from an Android, it'll say Android.
That's hilarious. I can see where this is going.
If it says iPhone, it'll say iPhone. So he sees her tweet and he screen caps it, and then he circles the part on the bottom when she's like, "I love this Wawa phone," or whatever it's called, and it says tweeted from an iPhone. So he sends it out. He's got like 4 million followers. It got so huge that the company actually had to call him and say, "Can you please take this down? And also, by the way, how did you know that she wasn't tweeting from, our phones and it was an iPhone?" And basically it was like, first of all, he's like, "Well, this is how I knew." And then secondly, he tagged her. It was so innocent, but so many people just gang mentality.
So that's not mainstream media's fault. That's society's fault. That's blowing it up.
Yeah. But anyway, just the same way Kevin Hart took it in the face a couple of years ago, whenever that was, this guy, now they're going back and they're going through all of his tweets and they're cherry picking all these bad things that he has said to people, and they're putting it out there. This guy could be ruined.
They're just looking to destroy this guy now.
They just want to destroy him. Yeah. Well, hold the phone, everybody. We've been graced by a superstar on TikTok who's agreed to give us 4.5 minutes. Jay Sabs is here.
For the same amount of time I give my husband.
What? I couldn't hear you.
Usually it's I give my husband.
Are you borrowing my internet?
Yeah, you got Frank internet right now. What's going on with you?
What is?
Oh my goodness.
Oh
wow.
Oh my goodness. Jay Sabs.
You know what? 2021.
I can hear you now. Jay Sabs, who had 50,000 views on one of our TikToks, has struck back with a sequel. Last I saw was around 7,000. How is it going?
It's still around 1,000, but you know what?
What?
Didn't hear that.
Yeah. You know what? Hold on.
Is someone else on the phone line that you're using?
Yeah, what the hell? Are you on a party line there, Janine? This is like back in the old days.
You've got mail. So are we serious? Does she really have TikTok? Because I have not heard this.
Janine has TikTok fame. She's 50,000 on one, 7,000 on another. It's starting to take off now.
What's your TikTok
I'm
thing?
better.
How do I find you?
A lot of people were asking for your TikTok, Janine. I wasn't at liberty to give it out.
Are we not saying it? Okay.
I don't know if she wants it out there.
You can give it to me after the show.
You can put it out if you want it out now. I don't care.
Gave it out.
You gave it out?
Yes, on underneath the comments. I believe it's Sabs.
It's what?
What is it?
Jay Sabs?
I think it's Janine Sabs.
Oh, Janine Sabs?
I think it is. I don't even know what my I don't even know.
If you search Anthony on Air Meth Head on TikTok, it'll come up. It's the first one that comes up.
It is Janine Sabs.
Oh, there you go.
Following.
I wish you would have picked Meth Head. That would have been so much better.
Right?
There you are.
All right, so CNN New Year's Eve, a lot of people talked about the fact that Andy Cohen got hammered and just called out, just brutally called out de Blasio. That was the big story. But I got to tell you, to me, the thing that I got more pleasure out of was Andy Cohen, a drunk Andy Cohen, a super drunk Anderson Cooper, interviewing Snoop Dogg on where he's gotten high, what locations he's been high at.
I love it.
And people often compliment my laugh and say that it makes them laugh, but Anderson Cooper's laugh,
so
infectious.
His laugh,
so funny,
his laugh.
Right? I mean,
I
so
love seeing him.
hysterically
He was
funny.
enjoying himself. He was having such a good time.
He was having a grand old time. It's like you're drunk. It's like when you go out when your friend is totally drunk and they're just laughing at everything that's being said, and it just makes the night so much better that they're just hammered. All right, so I'm going to play you snippets off the phone so we don't get nabbed for copyright, whatever. That's why I do it this way. Here you go. Let's see here.
You have. Okay. Have you gotten high at the Oscars, Snoop? Yeah, at the Oscars?
I've never been to the Oscars, but when I do go, you better know that I will.
That's Cooper.
That's on my hit list. You just put that on my hit list.
Right? That was Anderson Cooper's laugh?
That was his laugh. He is genuinely just loving everything his idiot drunk friend is asking Snoop Dogg. It's fantastic.
I love it.
An amazing moment.
Have you gotten high at a late night talk show? Of course. I know. He's gotten me high at a late night talk show.
Letterman, Leno, Kimmel.
Have you gotten high on CNN?
No, but in front of the CNN building on Sunset Boulevard, I have.
That's a great laugh.
Snoop, have you gotten high at the DMV?
That would be a no. That would be a no-no.
That was that was literally a Joker-esque laugh on that one. He was literally laughing like any one of the Jokers.
Hey,
that's a
hashtag
really
Anderson
scary
Cooper next Joker.
Have you
Yeah,
gotten
right?
high at the DMV?
That
That's a
would be
great
no.
Joker laugh.
That would be a no-no.
Let me ask you this, and then I'm going to wrap out of this game. Have you gotten high at a brisk?
Oh God.
Have you?
Yes.
No. Wow.
Yes.
That's incredible.
This is the dog of all dogs we talking about, Andy.
Dog of all dogs,
That's
right
hilarious.
there. Yeah.
Can I just say that Snoop doesn't sound like Snoop there?
He
doesn't?
He doesn't. No, he was
I don't
very.
think he does at all.
He was very
do you
slick,
mean?
little smooth sound. I think he had a really good mic. Actually, it was gold. But go ahead.
Or-
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't. He
Did
had.
they ask if he was high then?
He
I
probably.
know, right?
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
was.
They didn't, but actually they did. Well, they asked if he was high on CNN. He was high at CNN at that moment, so I don't think he was high at that moment.
That was a great way to end 2020. We all needed that laugh. That's perfect.
I couldn't stop
See?
laughing at that. I thought that was absolutely hysterical. The way he was just laughing like a little school.
He does laugh like a little schoolgirl, right?
That was hilarious. Love it.
Fun fact. I
Mm-hmm.
used to work for his mother's company,
For
Gloria Vanderbilt.
did you really?
I did.
Is that where a lot of
Doing
your
what?
horror story work job stories come from?
No.
Oh.
No, actually.
What did you do for them?
I was an assistant designer.
Cool.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
La-di-da.
fancy title. Yeah, excuse me. I'm sorry. I thought we just only had a TikTok star. I didn't realize we
Did
had
you
a
get-
designer amongst us.
Did you get to keep any of the clothes that you designed?
Since most designs companies just steal other companies' designs. Yes.
But wasn't your dad a designer too? Didn't he design like patterns or some crazy wacky stuff?
Yes. Stripes and plaids. Oh, interesting.
No, but this fascinates me greatly. Like I knew Janine for like 26 years, and then in year 27, I was like, "Yeah, what did your father do for a living?" And she lays this on me. She goes, "Yeah, he designed stripes and plaids." And I go, "Well, how fucking long could that have taken? Like, how did you build a 30-year career out of that?"
That seems weird.
Yeah, like guess what, everybody? I don't know if you know this,
Afternoon.
but Val this year is
What?
introducing gold into one of his plaid designs. People are like, "Oh shit,
Whoa.
Val's on fire right now."
Here's what they did. Hey, Val, you see this plaid? Do you think you could add some red in on this side? Yeah, I think I can do it. Okay, I'll be right back. And then
Is that an impression of your dad?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's how our dad sounds.
I'd do that back.
But this was like this is before like Photoshop and like all these design programs. Like he had to like I don't even know how he did it. Like how did he even do it? Did
by
he
hand.
by hand?
Not
He would,
Crayons?
By hand.
Box of Crayola?
but how would he? Did he draw it or did he just sew like the fabric together? Like how did it even
No,
work?
he never sewed. He never sewed.
We had
I
to draw
have
it out.
sewed. He used to just draw it out with a ruler.
Cool.
I can't believe he raised a family off of it. I don't even know how that's.
Could have been his wife's income.
I mean,
No.
to me, when you like when whoever it was that invented plaid, John A. Plaid, when he invented the first plaid,
Accurate.
you think he would just be like, "Here's all the plaids." Like it's plaid. It's not like it's a and then stripes too. That's the best part. He was like CEO of
once
plaid
you got
and stripes.
and plaid, you just interchange the colors. I mean, what's the problem?
Yeah, I mean,
Believe it or not, it's way more complicated. Just think of all the companies and all the different ads and all the different stripes. You have to
Different
give it
stripes.
to someone to reproduce. So you can't just say, "Hey, can you add this black in here?" You actually have to draw it out.
I
Back
can't.
in the day, yeah. No, it seems pretty turnkey right now for us. But back in the day when there were no computers, you actually had to make those patterns.
And then it went into computers, and it's not just Photoshop or Illustrator. It's a different kind of design program to do it. So it is harder than you think.
I just can't imagine your dad coming home. Your dad coming home at the end of a rough day, and your mom Phyllis being like, "What's wrong?" and him going, I said red and blue stripes, and they did blue and white. I mean, it was a nightmare today, honey. It was really.
It's going to take us months to recover.
He was the one changing the color.
He was the one.
Look at
What?
how high I look right now. He was the one being told to change the colors.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other.
Changes.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. That was the other thing that fascinated me. He wasn't even the guy who fucking came up with it.
No.
He was the guy who would just do it.
No.
So there were two people involved in this process. One guy that's like, I know red and white stripes. And then it was like, Val, can you do this?
Wait, what did your father do for a living?
Uh-oh. Are we comparing dad jobs now?
First of all, my father, he worked for the
got me
phone
so
company.
mad.
He fixed phones and computers. That makes sense to me. I actually understand that.
Okay.
Being the guy who was like, did you hear Val put yellow and purple together? They're going crazy in New Orleans. I can't even imagine how he raised a family off of that. I can't.
Then this is going to blow your mind. There used to be just one part of the company that just used to deal with colors. Like if color samples came in for the you would have to sit there. Yeah, exactly. Okay. A red sweater came in.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. This red should be more yellow. Right, exactly.
Oh, so they would say this is too red, or this needs to be a more yellowy red, or whatever. That was their. Yeah, that's crazy.
And department just for this, and I actually worked in that department too for a bit.
That department, which by the way has been replaced by an iPad and a 14-year-old girl. That's who does that. That's who does that now.
Man, you are just wrecking on Janine's dad right now.
That's
Holy
it.
Crap. Your dad did an honorable job. He made money, supported his family.
No, I totally respect Val. I think it's great. I can't conceive it.
That's because it was years ago. Right now, it's computerized. But before that,
no, it's not.
What do you mean
it's not actually. There's people who still do it. It's not done by a computer. People do it on a computer.
That's
so
what I'm
people
saying. No,
still
that's
actually
what I mean.
do this. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. It's just faster now. You could, if you want a lighter shade of red, you could just pick it out on the computer and it's done instantly.
Yes.
But back in the day, he would have had to, draw up new plans and do whatever the hell he had to do. But it took way more time.
Yep. It's true.
It's just crazy. It's just really, really crazy.
The things you learn.
Final topic for me, at least. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to
definitely final for me because I'm leaving here. So go ahead.
Got another TikTok to make, another TikTok and plaid to get to. So Janine's very, very busy right now.
I'm gonna make my father watch this one, and he's gonna be like, "This motherfucker doesn't know what I did."
You gotta get him on this thing one day. We all gotta meet him now.
I could talk about this for an hour. I think it's fantastic. I just don't understand how he literally and Val did really well for himself.
Doing this job.
What?
Wait, what?
When did he stop doing the job?
2014.
He was still doing that up until 2014.
Yep.
It's crazy.
That's something.
I'll say this. In the later years, it wasn't so much stripes or plaids. It was more patterns. So.
Okay.
It would be at this point, if Frank and I were any bit of intelligent, we would have named another pattern. It would be like
exactly.
Hawaiian shirt.
Like what? This? And we would have had.
That's it. It's a good.
Yeah,
that's
like
a good guess.
anything, any pattern. Like it could be literally, it could be dogs all over your shirt. Anything's a pattern. Right. Could be a pattern.
Yeah, but I was talking
clown faces. Who the hell knows?
I was talking more about like traditional pattern names,
like polka dot.
No, like there's
houndstooth plaid.
Thank you, houndstooth. If we would have said houndstooth, that would have gotten a huge laugh, but we didn't.
Yes. No, sorry.
Wait, Fishbone? That one?
I don't know.
Fish
Paisley?
One that goes like this?
Paisley is very funny. That's a funny pattern.
Paisley.
Paisley is the
You're
comma.
right. That is one that he worked on later years too.
Val came up with that. Val was like, forget just commas. Let's use apostrophes. It's an upside down. We'll just do this with it.
And let's just in them.
And it lit the whole world up. Forget it.
Paisley's not bad.
Yeah, Paisley's pretty good.
My living room curtains are Paisley.
Let's talk about The Office on Peacock. Huge buzz. Everybody's talking about this. The Office, which was the biggest show, Friends and The Office, two biggest shows on Netflix. Even House of Cards and Fuller House and all this stuff that got a lot of publicity. Nowhere near as popular as those two shows. Netflix loses both of them. Office to NBC's new streaming service, Peacock. I have a little bone to pick with the Peacock here. I'm a little Peacock upset today.
That's what she said.
Thank you. I go to price out Peacock because, as you guys know, I'm a massive Office fan.
That's what she said. Me too.
I've been watching. I've been watching The Office not only since it was on NBC, but I've been binging The Office since it was on Twitch. Back when Twitch used to be called Justin.tv. I feel
my
like
God.
10 people on the internet are going to remember this. But
What the hell?
before Twitch was Twitch, it was called Justin.tv. And you used to go there and people would have their own TV channels. And
Justin got railroaded on that deal.
There was at least 2 or 3 that all they did was play The Office for 24 hours. Like, it was just Office. And I used to just put
That sounds amazing.
It was.
Isn't that illegal?
It is now, yeah. But back in the old Wild West of the internet, kids, we used to pirate content all the time.
Back in my
You can't
day.
just play someone else's show and claim the content for yourself.
Now you put out 3 seconds of a Drake song on Facebook, and they will come to your house and
It
arrest
will
you.
ruin your life.
Exactly.
Back then,
Don't I know it?
Back then, you can get away with a lot more. But anyway, I've been doing, so once it got to, and then I bought out all the DVDs. I had all the DVDs, and you're putting discs
What's
in.
a DVD?
Yeah, it was a nightmare, Frank. It was a nightmare. So when it got onto Netflix, I was so happy because it was a click and you were there and you were watching. Great. Now it moves over to Peacock. Listen to what Peacock is doing. They got some nerve, these guys. There's a free service, there's a pay service, and then there's a super pay service. Okay. For the free version, and by the way, this is on their website. So I don't know if there's any other differentiation between these three services other than The Office and how it comes to you. Like, I think everything is included on everything. The only difference is The Office. I could be wrong about that, but that's how they present it right now. If you go with the free service, you can get seasons 1 and 2 of The Office. Now, hardcore Office fans know that that is a jip because season 1 is only 6 episodes. It was like a pilot season. They were trying it out. It was all BS. And it wasn't that even good. It wasn't even that great, actually. Season 2 is where they really kind of kick into effect. You get those 2 seasons for free. If you pay $4.99 a month, you get all the seasons of The Office. So I'm like, okay, that's the premium. So I'm like, then what's in Premium Plus? In Premium Plus, you get all the seasons of The Office without ads.
Oh.
Thank you. So you're literally paying $4.99 a month to still watch commercials? That's bullshit.
That's BS. Well, that's look at Hulu. That's the same thing.
That's why I don't have Hulu. I don't even know. I do not have Hulu.
Hulu has a lot of stuff.
But is it like, I don't know. I see, to me, like $6.99 for Disney Plus, I don't watch a single ad. And by the way, if you look at the fine print, and I'm on their website, if you look at the fine print, all the way on the bottom of Premium Plus, it says in the asterisk right there, due to streaming rights, some programming may still have commercials in it at the $9.99 at the Premium Plus level.
Yeah.
This Peacock has got some fucking nerve. I tell you what, that's crazy to me.
Peacock has some.
What?
Exactly. I will say though, because you know me, I like to be fair. They have created the Office Zen channel, which is a 24/7 channel of just the Office noises.
Oh,
come on!
I like this. Now I have for it. Sorry.
Like The Office noises or just office noises?
No, I think it's The Office. Like that little, like the phone calls and the people shuffling around that you used to hear in the background. Like they used to have that.
Like, do you hear the actors, the same actors?
I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet, but it says that's what they describe it as. It's just all the sounds that they used to use.
I like it.
That's kind of cool.
That is cool, but that's like the biggest. That's a I don't know. That's like watching. There's a thing on. I saw it on Disney. They have a Dory's Aquarium or something, and it's literally just 3 hours of the same. I don't know, 5-minute scene of the different fish from. from
Oh,
the
I've
movie
seen that
swimming by.
actually.
Yeah.
There's no dialogue or anything. It's the noises of the ocean.
Yeah.
And that's on loop. It's not even 3
Kinda
hours
like that.
of all different
Kinda
stuff.
like
It's
that.
5 minutes looped and looped and looped.
Who doesn't like that? Disney does that. Disney has a Zen show where it's just all like it'll be like all the country scenes or all the water scenes. So you'll go from like the mermaid, Little Mermaid to Moana, and it'll just be like the soothing water scenes and water noises of it's called Disney Zen or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, that's Peacock. I'm curious to. I'm dying to know if they're gonna do well with this because I feel like for $4.99,
Probably not.
that's $60 a year. Yeah, you got $60 a year for me for life. You know what I mean? If you just give me the show, like I don't want to sit there
Right.
and watch Clorox ads. You know what I'm saying?
I hate ads. I hate commercials.
Listen,
Never.
I by the way,
never watch commercials.
love ads. I by the way will not skip an ad on YouTube. If you give me
That's different. That's different.
if you give me a 15-second ad and 2 of them back to back, you're not getting a skip from your old pal Ant. I sit there and support the creator, and I will watch that ad. I will watch those ads.
Pay for YouTube Red or whatever the hell the YouTube thing is.
Premium or whatever it is. Yeah.
Premium.
Yeah. You do?
It's great because not only are there 0 ads or commercials, but you can download any video you want. It saves to your phone. And it was great when I used to take the train into work.
Right.
And there was no service for like 30 minutes, underground or whatever. I could still listen to whatever. And they're all saved on my phone like a big playlist.
I feel like that's something that's only useful for people in New York, Boston, and Chicago. Like, I feel like everywhere else where there's not a big subway, people don't give a shit about that stuff.
And you could, like, if you're playing music on your phone, like, you could play it on your Bluetooth speaker from your phone, and it's just continuous. There are no ads if you're playing it maybe for a party or something. There's no commercials. It just keeps going, and you could just keep playing. And you don't need service. You don't have to have a full bars or whatever to play it. You could just download a library of songs.
And here's the other thing that kills me. Like, so some of the shows that so again, when you go to Peacock, The Office is the first thing you see. You see Steve Carell sitting there. The other shows that they're pushing, Below Deck, the Today Show. Like, do I need to watch the fucking Today Show? Am I sitting there going,
no,
man, I'll tell you what, January 1996, that was a good Thursday the 3rd. That was a good fucking Today Show.
It's like reading the newspaper from 4 years ago.
It's
Who gives a
stupid.
crap.
Stupid.
for what reason?
They have SNL, which
maybe there's interviews and stuff that are on there, but other than that,
they have SNL, which I'll give them, but then they're pushing like the new Saved by the Bell, which,
New Saved by.
SNL is on Hulu.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's not like you can't get this stuff elsewhere,
Oh my God, look at me.
Yellowstone, The Voice. Do we need to rewatch The Voice? Once you see it once, you can't.
No thanks.
I don't know. I don't know about this Peacock. I'm not loving it right now, to be honest with you.
It seems like maybe it'll change because there's a thing that you said for now it has ads or something. It might still have ads. Maybe after a contract or something runs out, the ads will go away, or I don't know.
I don't know, but they're double dipping on us. Like, you can pay for The Office off of $4.99 a month from the millions of people that watch it all the time. Like, you're double dipping. That's greedy. That's greedy.
I hear you. Hey, I don't like
It
that
is.
Netflix raises the freaking price every month.
They raised it $1 this year, right? Didn't they raise it $1 going into 2021? And they lost The Office.
like
That That's ballsy too. That's another ballsy move.
It is.
Yeah.
Big cojones, okay?
Lose our best show and we're gonna charge you more to watch not the greatest show ever on there. BS.
Gee, let me ask you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Watch a show, Val just painting stripes plaids.
Wait, say that again?
I'd watch that. I'd watch Val just painting stripes and plaids.
Would
I
you watch a Netflix show of Val just painting
Yeah.
stripes and plaids?
I would watch a 14-part documentary on your father's job and his business and how that all worked. I would watch it.
Okay.
Yep.
Ken
I want
Burns
to see
style
a
too.
DVD
Like not even
commentary.
like great stuff like stills that they like zoom in on. Like though you got a boring ass documentary when you're just zooming in on stills and zooming out of stills. I'd watch
You got to
that.
have motion or they're going to get bored.
I'm probably going to be boring, so.
I would watch it. And I would want to know how the company did. Like obviously the company made money. Like that's what's so am I wrong here, or are you not fascinated by these companies that make a ton of money off of the simplest everyday things that we just take for granted, that we just don't even think about?
Someone's got to handle all that stuff. Yeah, we take them for granted, but someone's doing it. Someone's making these things. How do you think the world works? All this stuff around you. It's
like
the littlest thing.
Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and how hard they worked and how smart they had to be. And there's a company out there that's going, I don't know, yellow and black stripes? Great. Zing. And they're just making millions of dollars. I will never.
Can't get over this. This is what's really fun.
The difference is Zuckerberg and Musk, they're gajillionaires. And this company is probably in the millions somewhere. But they also have to pay a ton of people. It's not as huge, I would say. I don't know what company it is.
I know somebody, and I don't want to get into too many details here, but I know somebody that billions, they're worth billions. And when I did my research to find out how they're worth so much money, they owned a company that made cardboard boxes.
Oh, come on.
Okay? And they are billionaires. Like, I mean, how, like...
Simple.
Like, just, I will make cardboard boxes. And it's just like, oh.
Everybody uses them.
Yeah, and billions of but this is like a 40-year-old company, I think. I don't remember. But it's like an old ass company. But cardboard box. Again, like I said, Elon Musk literally was like, I didn't know. The other day he goes, I didn't know if Tesla was going to even make it, and now we're the most valued car company on the planet. The blood, sweat, and tears. He had to invent a robot that wouldn't run people over in the factory just so that they could make. Just so the robot could carry car parts to the other things. And here's this other guy that goes, I don't know, cardboard? We'll just tape it together and send it? Like, that should be good, right?
Yeah,
we'll just put things...
Yeah.
That has to take some kind of brains, too, because I guarantee you, if I tasked you, Anthony, or you, Janine, or me, build a company about cardboard boxes, we would be clueless.
But you know how full of shit that company is? Like, you ever see a long serial number on the side of the box? What the fuck is that there for? Do we need to track every single last box? Like, Johnson, I'm missing C6720. We just can't seem to find
Johnson.
That's the part of the business we have no idea about. And that's
Mr.
why
Wood.
fail.
Mr. Wood comes to boxes today.
I bet you the year that they finally figured out a way to print like an image of something, that was on the cover of We Make Boxes Yearly, or that magazine. Like, We Make Boxes magazine, that industry like they were like, you can't believe what Boxco came up with.
Company newsletter.
Look at this. There's an image on the side of the box. Like, this is insane.
Oh, imagine the raise that the This End Up guy got. That guy is like the hero of the box company.
You, Johnson.
We'll put an arrow so people know which is the top of the box and which is the bottom. Brilliant.
That Johnson has a plaque in the lobby of the building that they make the, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That guy's
Johnson
a box superhero.
For sure. For sure. Absolutely.
That's
That's a big Johnson. Well done. Okay. All right.
That's what she said.
Are we good there? But anyway, that was my, so that's when I think about all this stuff, Val's job plays into all that for me, because I can't fathom how an entire industry was. And by the way, when you, and this is not a slam against Janine's father, but when you see Janine's dad, you go, Like if you were like, look at Janine's dad, what do you think he did for a living? Ran a deli would be the first thing that came to my mind. Like he probably ran a deli. That would be it. You know?
Yeah.
Because
he's like a tough looking guy. He doesn't seem like he would be handling, like he's a tough looking dude, I would say.
Yeah, but also like
manly.
You don't know if he's like Yugoslavian or Latvian or Italian or Russian or French. So he probably ran a deli where they had like they were pickling, fish and all sorts of weird shit and all that kind of like delicacies that everybody just pays a lot of money for. You know what I'm saying? Like one of those places.
Bringing guns in the back too. Yeah, I get it.
Whatever he's running out of the back's none of our business. I don't know.
Who are we to say?
By the way, you just jarred a memory, Janine. Just to show you how crooked of a neighborhood we grew up in. I remember going to a deli. There was a deli in our neighborhood that one of my friend's parents like was literally like, go pick out some candy, and then like disappeared in the back and then came out just like counting in hundreds, and I couldn't figure out what it was. They were running a full-on casino out of the back of this deli off of one video game slot machine.
Oh,
so
I love it.
You would go play video game slots.
Look at his face. He's horrified.
Frank,
I grew up in the same neighborhood, and I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
This was in Ozone Park, though. This wasn't in Howard Beach. This was in Ozone Park. That might tip you off, Frank, to who it was. But they would literally go in and you'd buy credits, and the credits would represent real money, and they would literally he went in there and played for 5 minutes.
Oh, I know who this is.
Like that's how big of a degenerate this guy was. But anyway, these are the kinds of like I expect Val to be running that deli. That's what I would expect Val to be doing.
Man, and at the beginning of this, remember, Janine, he said this is not a dig at your dad.
No, not at all.
It's not, but that's what I picture.
I love it.
That's clue number one.
That's what your dad
He's
looks
definitely
like.
going to be watching it. I'm going to make him watch this one.
You should make him watch it. Like when, because I
if
remember
he's not
when
busy running an illegal scam out of the back of a deli.
Right.
Yeah, make sure he sits down and watches this.
That's it.
By the way,
if he has time out of his tough day.
Listen, doesn't make you a bad person. If that's what you're doing right now to put your kids through school, kudos to you. It doesn't make you a bad person. But I'm just saying, when Janine first told me what her dad did, she was like, "Oh, he was in fashion." I was like, "Hold on, stop it, wait."
That is a shock.
Yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. All right, listen, Janine's got to make TikToks. She's, obviously springboarding off of the show here, so we had her for quite a while, and we're appreciative of that today.
That's fine. Riding our coattails, that's fine.
What's the next TikTok? Do you have the song yet or anything?
It's 2021 is fairly new. I expect something new is going to come out in a few days.
Did you do a WAP TikTok yet?
No, it's
what? Say it again. You cut out.
Dress. In my draft.
It's what?
It's in her drafts.
My drafts.
Oh, it's in your drafts.
Yo, this internet is like fucking Frank's house. I gotta go.
All right, let's let Janine go. Yeah, you could, Frank. You could make videos and save them in your drafts so that you don't until you put them out. Like you wait, keep working.
Those darn internets.
The kids, they know what they're doing.
What do they think of next?
All right, I appreciate you guys watching the vid. Of course, grab some Hero Soap Company if you can. Supporting them supports us here on the podcast. Link in the description below. 20% off if you sign up for the subscription, where you have soap sent to your house on a monthly basis. We're back to our regularly scheduled Monday, Wednesday, Friday here in 2021.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Some of us are.
Yeah, some of us.
Until Janine gets signed by a TikTok agency, and then that'll be it. Then we'll be begging for plugs on her TikTok just to keep
exactly
up with the Joneses. Appreciate everybody watching. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Links and info over at Anthony on Air.
Happy New Year.